Scanning for audio.
Hello you, and welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. Now, this time I'm going to be talking about the latest monthly release, and I'm very pleased about this, Torchwood. It's a return to business as usual, a nice series that fits in. Now, lately, for those of you who have been following the UFO cast, or the UFO cast, depending on what you could decide to call it yourself, you know that we dealt with one story that was what you can only describe as a dream episode. This is not a dream episode. But one of the things that me and Luke discussed was that in dream episodes, you get to see the world completely, usually you get to see the world completely afresh. You know, it's basically an excuse to do an alternative history. Well, I'm a sucker for an alternative history. Rewritten history in a fictional past. Some of my favourite New Model Army lyrics. So here we've got something glorious. The death of Captain Jack. And here we've got Captain Jack Harkness on his deathbed being visited by Captain John Hart. Now, obviously I'm not going to give away how this has happened, because that's the plot. That's the spoilers. That's what would well, that would just spoil it for you, wouldn't it? That's pointless. It's not what we're here for at all. What we're here for is to discuss just how great this release is. And it is. One disc marvellousness. Now, the digital version has got trailers for every single of the next series, the next set, the next clump of Torchwoods. And they're all heading off in different directions. And they all sound marvellous. But again, that's not what we're here to discuss. I mean, I'm hardly going to sell you to buy something because it's got a load of adverts on it. That would be madness. Now, the reason you should buy this is because, like me, you were a Buffy fan, weren't you? You liked Captain John. You liked the guy who played him. Because he was Spike in Buffy. No, he was. And in Buffy, he had an English accent. And in this, he's got an English accent. Captain John Hart, well, is a great character. He started off Series 2 of Torchwood with a bit of a flurry, with a bit of a flourish. An ex-time agent with a dodgy past and connections with Jack. Well, here the storyline is taken to its logical conclusion. And here you get to see what the world, what the universe would be like if Captain Jack was the person who replaced Mr. Harkness. In all ways. And you know, there was a storyline in the monthly range from Doctor Who where the monk, Mortimus, got to replace the Doctor throughout his regenerations and messed with his timelines. Well, here you've got Captain John doing the same, but obviously in a Torchwoody kind of a way. There is lots of, how would Sheldon put it? Fornication? I suspect not. There's a lot of physical context and the sort of sound effects that you would need from that sort of thing. The sort of thing that made Torchwood, well, sadly, what it was. But that's fine. Because the meat and gravy of this piece is how Captain John replaces Jack and what he does with his power, influence, and there's just far too many. No, there's not even too many. There's just the right amount of references to other Torchwood stories. Because how would Captain John run Torchwood? How would he deal with Victorian era time? How would a stranded Captain John deal with all of the infestations? The only thing missing are any run-ins with UNIT, or indeed a third Doctor, because, well, that would be telling. And that would be pushing it just a little bit too far. No, what you've got is a glorious timeline. It does feel, apart from the odd influence, reference, that UNIT and all of the other things just aren't quite happening in the same universe as Doctor Who. Torchwood has become more and more of its own creature, and I can live with that. But I don't want to spoil anything with this story. It's a lovely parallel, and if you liked James Marsters, which I know you did, then this is for you. As an introduction to Torchwood, it's brilliant. You need no further knowledge of the series. If you've seen everything on TV but you've got none of the audios, that's fine. But if you've heard the audios, this is glorious. A brilliant addition and a welcome return to the monthly releases that make up Torchwood. Welcome back. It's been nice having aliens amongst us, but it's even more nice to be back where we belong. So with that, I'll play you the trailer. Oh, I want to share so many spoilers with you, but it really wouldn't be fair. Be seeing you.
The prisoner is dying.
He's been saying that for years.
But we believe he has only a few hours remaining.
Good. That should give me plenty of time. Coming soon from Big Finish Productions, Torchwood, The Death of Captain Jack.
Identify yourself!
Captain John Hart. And I believe the words you're looking for are, thank you, Captain John, for saving us from the nasty alien, but you're welcome.
John.
You look surprised, Jack.
It must have been
130 years.
My word.
Just a garden variety time sprite, Your Majesty. Doesn't belong on Earth, and definitely doesn't belong in the year 1785.
They tell me you're dying.
Looks that way.
I had to see it with my own eyes.
No! John, don't!
And I wanted to tell you a story.
About what?
The life you didn't have, Jack. The life I stole from you. I came here to tell you about Torchwood. Big Finish. We love stories. And puppies, but mostly stories. Darling?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Oh, I love it when you call me that. Open fire.
With pleasure.
"2018 brings with it 3 brilliant conventions, all held at the Derby Quad. ShadowCon 2. The UFO convention will be on June the 30th, 2018. Hooverville, the best little Doctor Who convention in the world, is on Saturday the 1st of September, while Big Finish Day is on the 3rd of November 2018. All tickets are available from the Derby Quad website. That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.